Hey y'all, this is Shane with DNS Adventures, and as you can tell by the title, it is time for another top 5 places to hike. We still have a lot to explore, and this is only based on our experience in the state thus far. But in this video, I want to talk about 5 awesome places we have hiked in the beautiful state of North Carolina near the Blue Ridge Mountains. Before we go through this list, let us know some of your recommendations for hikes and areas to explore in North Carolina that we should hit up next in the comments below. We're always looking for new adventures. Alright, let's get right into it in no particular order because let's face it, all these places are pretty awesome. Number 1, Hanging Rock State Park. This is one of our go-to places because living in Virginia, it is one of the closest state parks to the Virginia-North Carolina border, so we have to hit it up a lot. We have gone in all seasons and even with our buddies from Destination Earth, Josh and Akane. If y'all ever want to come visit, well, we'll probably take you to Hanging Rock State Park to show off the area. First trail we recommend labeled as moderate is Hanging Rock Trail because, well, it is named after the state park and it's pretty cool. This trail is a wee bit steep, but at about 2.6 miles round trip, it is a fairly simple day hike. The next trail we really enjoyed labeled as strenuous was Moore's Wall Loop Trail. It is slightly longer at 4.7 miles round trip. Oh, and definitely don't forget to hit up all the awesome waterfalls at this state park as well. They are everywhere. Number 2 is Pilot Mountain State Park. Practically just down the road from Hanging Rock State Park is Pilot Mountain State Park. You can literally see the peaks of each state park from within each other. Pilot Mountain State Park, however, has a much more defined peak, which gives it a much more unique appearance. Pilot Mountain reminds us a lot of when we visited Devil's Tower in Wyoming. Not quite as tall and impressive as Devil's Tower, but still very neat. As far as trails go, we've hit a Pilot Knob Trail, which is a fairly easy 0.8 mile trail. This trail is very popular because it goes around that peak that we were just talking about. And we've hit up portions of Grindstone Trail, Sassafras Trail, and Ledge Spring Trail. Sassafras was only about 1/8 of a mile long, but both Grindstone and Ledge Spring are fairly strenuous. If you are in the rock scrambling and rock climbing, this state park may be a good choice for you, although we can't really talk too much on behalf of those events yet, because we haven't done them. Number 3 is Stone Mountain State Park. Stone Mountain State Park caught us off guard when we first visited. We weren't expecting such expansive and amazing views from within the park. Honestly, this park really reminded us a lot of different national parks we have been to in the past. The views are definitely worth it, and that open stone face is so unique in this part of the country, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. There were some homesteaders that lived in this area way back, and boy did they have a view in their backyard. The most popular trail at Stone Mountain State Park, and our only hike that we've been on thus far, is a strenuous Stone Mountain Loop Trail coming in at 4.5 miles round trip. The views that are along this trail are incredible. The stone face, as we mentioned before, the historic Hutchinson Homestead, and the amazing Stone Mountain Falls. Okay, I need to go back and do that hike again. Number 4, Grandfather Mountain State Park. Grandfather Mountain State Park was almost a near miss for us on our way back home to Virginia after an awesome vacation. We barely had enough energy after hiking over 20 miles the previous few days, and we didn't really have hiking on our minds. However, after stopping at a nearby viewpoint along the Blue Ridge Parkway, we convinced ourselves to head up to this amazing state park, and we are so glad that we did. There are a ton of things to do at this park. Beyond hiking, there is a museum, and there's even a zoo to check out. Of course, we do usually lean towards hiking, so what kind of hiking does this place have to offer? We hit up a couple trails. The first must visit is of course the iconic Bridge Trail. The views from this bridge are breathtaking, and just going a bit further and you can glance off for miles and miles of beautiful North Carolina terrain beyond the Blue Ridge Parkway. The most popular and a bit dangerous trail we hit up was the Grandfather Trail. I say dangerous because this is the only trailhead we have ever hiked on that they actually request you fill out paperwork to let them know which path you are taking and your goal, just in case you don't make it back. On this trail we were tuckered out from previous hikes as I mentioned before, but we did make it up to around McRae Peak, which was certainly good enough for us. The view is absolutely outstanding. Along this trail though you encounter ladders, different rock scrambling, and depending if you go there after rain, it can be quite dangerous, so definitely make sure you're up for the challenge. And number 5, Mount Mitchell State Park. We hit up Mount Mitchell State Park prior to going to Grandfather Mountain State Park, as we were trying to hit up a couple high points in both Virginia and North Carolina during this trip. And let me tell you, it is certainly a high point. These mountain peaks from Mount Mitchell State Park tower over the surrounding area and even over some low-lying clouds, if the conditions are right. Just remember, if you're a bit out of shape or you're coming from lower elevations, you may get tired while hiking at these higher elevations. The first trail we conquered at Mount Mitchell was of course the 0.3 mile hike from the upper parking lot to the top of Mount Mitchell. Who has visited the tallest point in North Carolina and not actually gone to the peak? Then we hiked along the Black Mountain crest first to Mount Craig, and then decided to keep going to Mount Tom. That was just a couple miles round trip I believe, but most definitely it was still a workout. I remember talking about the trail with Deanna and saying it was one of my favorite hikes I've done so far in my entire life. So hopefully that says something on these beautiful views. So that is our top 5. Did we touch all your favorite hikes in the state of North Carolina along the mountains? If not, what are some of your favorite must-see hikes that we need to hit up? We would love to hear from you in the comments below. Thanks for coming along on our adventures, and as always, adventure on.